Surprise! There was a second island called Isla Sorna, aka Site B. There's a lawsuit against InGen. Ian Malcolm is back and is summoned to the Hammond mansion. John Hammond wants Ian to go retrieve Sarah, a renegade paleontologist, and also Malcolm's girlfriend. We meet Ian's daughter Kelly, a typical teenager who whines about not being able to go with her dad. They have a horrible relationship, and you know how Steven loves his absent father trope. More gatherers join the team and head to Isla Sorna. They all arrive on the island, see stegosauruses, and find Sarah. Kelly reveals herself, and they adventured across the island, meeting many dangerous dinosaurs until the InGen hunters arrive. The hunters capture an infant T-Rex, and Sarah decides to be a hero. She steals it, while the parent T-Rexes hunt for their kid and tear things up as they go. More dangerous dinosaur shenanigans ensue. They all escape the island, and the T-Rex, Buck, and the infant are taken to San Diego on a ship. You would think that's the end of the movie, but wait, there's more. They arrive in San Diego. The T-Rex Buck gets loose and wreaks havoc before his kid is used to lure him back to the ship, where he is tranquilized and returned to the cargo hold on their way back to Isla Sorna. And the dinosaurs all live happily ever after. And we don't hear from them ever again. Shh. There's going to be a third movie in the franchise, and that's the tale of the Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Welcome, dear entrees, to Amblin' Through Cinema, a podcast dedicated to exploring the stories in filmcraft, defining the creative giants of the silver screen. Today, we're enjoying the gruff and gritty sequel experience of Steven Spielberg's The Lost World Jurassic Park, released in 1997. I'm your host, Tyler Birch.
And this is Crystal.
All right, this is our first non-Indiana Jones Spielberg sequel. I think the only non-Indiana Jones Spielberg sequel. Definitely an interesting experience seeing him trying to punch up the buck, see what he can do with a little bit more money, a little bit more expectations.
Yeah, I don't think it was all he thought it would be, but he tried.
I wonder how I felt about the other films. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the first impressions we have for this film. So, Mom, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit more about that?
As usual, I don't remember when I first saw this. It's not my favorite. I appreciated it more this time. We'll talk about that later. So What about you?
I don't specifically remember, the first time I watched this film, but I used to just watch these three films just in repeat over and over again. Very rarely would I watch the first one and not continue watching 2 and 3. Very familiar with it. Definitely a different take than what we got with the first one. You can see that they were trying to go for something a little bit different. It almost feels kind of like a rebound effect from his time on Schindler's List, being the last thing that he did before this.
True.
Then through something that's a little bit more mature, has a little bit more content that makes you think a little bit. I think that kind of encroached a little bit on this experiment that he was creating with The Lost World.
Well, he also took 4 years off, right?
I know he said that in the beginning he felt like he was rusty. Luckily, he said it was like riding a bike and maybe realizing that these aren't the stories that really interest him as much anymore after Schindler's List.
It doesn't feel like a Spielberg film.
Yeah, not really. Because even the scenes I think that are supposed to evoke that wonder feeling, like the stegosauruses, it's cool to see them, but it's not something that sticks in your mind.
Not really. I was just excited for you because I know you really want to see a stegosaurus.
Yeah, I mean, they were my favorite as a kid. Obviously, they still look great, but there's not really a scene where I'm just like, wow. I mean, maybe the T-Rex standing on the rock outcropping in front of San Diego.
That was kind of cool.
That one that sticks in your mind, and it's kind of just like, he's the king of this new jungle. It's interesting. It's kind of like a Predator 2, with Predator being in the city the big city for the second one. Let's see. I don't think that there's anything really stand out. I mean, I like the darker visuals on this one. I think that's kind of more in line with the novel and the horror. It reminds me of Jurassic World. Unapologetically tries to follow the same exact model. And so the Jurassic World, the first one, is supposed to kind of like that magic and wonder as much as a fully realized theme park could have. And then the second one is supposed to be that more horror focused. You can see a lot of parallels between Fallen Kingdom and The Lost World. I honestly think Fallen Kingdom pulls it off better. Got more of a horror inclined director on that one.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much it for our first impressions. So we'll go ahead and move on to Mr. DNA Explains, where we talk about story, characters, themes, and symbols.
Is he back?
Yeah, of course he's back.
All right.
Yeah.
We missed him.
He even got a raise because it's a sequel.
Hey.
Everything's bigger, better, glossier.
That's right.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to this episode of Documentary DNA. Practical effects have evolved for the Lost World. Practical effects are the real things in front of a movie camera. You can see, feel, even touch or taste them. And wouldn't you know it, they don't even have that little nice sheen that things made on a computer do. It's almost like they're for real. Since there aren't any real dinosaurs, Stan Winston created 5 different animatronic dinosaurs. Just think of your favorite little animatronic from Five Nights at Freddy's, but without the killing. Well, a little killing. Our favorite strong, independent female T-Rex from the first movie had 18 different operators to control the animatronics. In The Lost World, just 4 short years later, the female T-Rex and her dumb buck husband only had 2 operators control them. So you see, the animatronics make the dinosaurs move like real ones and look a lot better than the CGI dinosaurs from the first movie. And bingo, cinema DNA. Now you've been primed, let's go ahead and jump into the characters. We're going to go ahead and start with Ian Malcolm, presumed dead, but maybe not so dead.
Dead as in his career.
I mean, he just got buried.
Yeah, so Ian Malcolm, I mean, he looks different.
True, he's got the short hair.
And no glasses. He kind of looks broken.
He definitely is broken,
yeah.
yes. You can just tell. He seems angrier.
He broke his NDA.
Yeah.
There was some legal trouble with that. He probably sold his story to TMZ about Dinosaur Island, and nobody believed him.
Yeah, his intro has always fascinated me because I can't tell if it's brilliant or I hate it.
Are you talking about the background?
The scream, and then it cuts to
Yes.
Malcolm like yawning in front of the tropical background.
They did that on purpose.
Yeah, it feels really cheap to me.
You're right, because mostly the transitions are spot on.
We get introduced to him, his status in the world by the interaction on the subway
Yeah.
with the man who, is like, oh, I believed you, and does the weird dinosaur jaws with his arm thing.
Yeah.
He gets called by Hammond, not knowing why. Gets to see Lex and Tim there, which is always really nice to check in a little bit with them. Meet Peter Ludlow, a businessman who stands on the shoulders of giants, just like his grandfather. Hammond says there's Site B. There was always another island. It was a factory floor. I need you to go check it out. I got some peeps for you. There's already somebody that's there, which just insane to me. Like, who?
Yeah, who goes by themselves?
Seriously, who's there? Sarah Harding. So he's like, this is a rescue mission now. And he says, we're leaving early to go there, not caring about technology. Pulling a real Alan Grant with technology in this one.
Yeah.
Him and that satellite phone.
Oh, the satellite phone. So he has a kid.
Yes.
I mean, we knew he had kids.
He loved his children and caring for them. This is kind of a contrast because he's not a good dad.
No, he's not.
And it sounds like her mom abandoned her. And with everything that's going on with his career, I'm sure he's not the best person to deal with at home. It sucks, but she ends up sneaking aboard and they all go to Isla Sorna. I think throughout this movie, he's somebody that just really he's begrudgingly doing everything he can for everybody.
That's true. That's a contrast from the first movie.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because it doesn't feel like selflessness. It's not like he saw the light after Jurassic Park and kind of his arrogant attitude towards that. I think that he would probably leave everybody else to die if he could save Sarah and Kelly.
Maybe more Kelly than Sarah. Kind of feel like they were going to break up after all that.
That's true. Their relationship didn't seem that great, but maybe it's just hard to be in a relationship with Ian Malcolm. It feels like these characters have there's so much, they're just shallow compared to the way they were in the original. Ian maybe cares more about his family now. Maybe that's his arc that he went through. Maybe he's just more connected to them because you always want to think about where was he after the island. It's a shame because he's such a dynamic character in the first one.
He is, and I think I read that he and Spielberg worked on his dialogue.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad.
I'm sure, because I don't think David Cope came up with the, oh yeah, right now it's the ooh and ah, and later it's the rar, oh god.
That was the screaming.
The screaming, yeah, exactly. So I'm sure he did help punch it up a little bit. It just, I don't know. Maybe it's just not a character that's meant to be a main character.
That's true. He didn't carry it before.
Yeah, I think that's it. And I think that's, I've always thought about it, because he just, he can't hold up the movie. Unfortunately. And so it leads it to if you had great side characters, it'd be fine, but he doesn't.
No.
So it just all kind of just starts to suffer.
He ditched his whole Jurassic Park persona. I don't know.
It was just all based off of his trauma from the first movie.
Yeah.
It's became his entire personality in this one. He has, his whole thing is about how scared he was from the first Jurassic Park. We never get a scene where he's scared by the T-Rex. There's no, he comes face to face with the T-Rex, remembers what happened last time and panics or, anything like that. It's, he freaks out because it's a giant monster that's going to eat people, but it's never him thinking back.
No, and that's not realistic. You're definitely going to have some PTSD about that, especially when you see it again.
I don't know. It's just a bummer because you have such a great character, and then in this one, he's not that great. Fallen Kingdom, he's a glorified cameo. Dominion, he's just there to remind people that he was sexy in the first movie. It feels weird because he just stopped becoming a character.
So he's a novelty.
Yeah. All right, so Sarah Harding.
She was so contradictory. Don't touch anything.
Don't
Not even a blade of grass.
But I'm close enough to a Stegosaurus baby to sneeze on it.
Yeah.
And that will be fine, I'm sure. It's interesting they made the change to make her a paleontologist too, because she's not in the book.
What is she in the book?
She just studies big game. Like, she's an animal behaviorist, which they retain for some of this, but they try to apply it in a paleontology way. And it would have made more sense for her to think, well, I can handle lions, I can handle anything. And she gets here and realizes how out of her depth she is. Throwing her in as a paleontologist feels like a random detail.
Brings me back to what John Hammond was saying about Diane Fossey, who went to go live and study with the gorillas.
Yeah.
That makes more sense to me now because he said that, and I'm shaking my head like, what is he talking about? If she's a paleontologist, why would she care about? So, yeah, that makes sense.
She leaves it, she goes to the island first, days and days in advance without telling anybody.
Yeah.
No equipment except for the satellite phone that doesn't seem to work ever.
And her lucky pack.
You know what's really funny is there's a lucky bag in the third one, and it just feels so lazy that they did that. But yeah, so she got her lucky pack. They see some stegosauruses.
Yes.
She's supposed to be kind of like an eco-warrior against the man is how they portray her because, you know, InGen comes in and they just see them as dollars on a spreadsheet. So we have to fight them. And that's kind of her whole journey. She helps the baby T-Rex.
Does she, though?
I mean, is able to walk again.
Couldn't that have been natural selection? She went in there, put her scent all over this baby. I know that animals, if there's like a weird scent on their baby,
Like it could be abandoned
or eaten.
I think that's more of a realistic outcome. Yeah, definitely. Now that you mention it, she forgets everything she said about we need to preserve.
Yeah, she does.
Keeps a bunch of T-Rex blood on her jacket, even though she herself was the one that said the T-Rexes will be able to smell a scent from miles away.
She was just against smoking. That's all that was.
She was very against smoking, yeah.
That poor guy wanted a cigarette.
That was just a 1997 we hate smoking moment. She argues with Malcolm about T-Rex family patterns and then gets shown up by him, this man who knows nothing about T-Rex family patterns.
Yeah.
And then later criticizes the other guy that understands dinosaurs and says, well, no, the T-Rex could follow us outside their territory. It's like, you didn't think that the T-Rexes were going to come back and destroy the trailer.
She doesn't know what she's talking about.
It's just, it's an infuriating character. I will say it was pretty cool when she pulled the roof tiles.
Yeah.
And the velociraptor fell. That was pretty cool when she was trying to dig her way out.
Yes.
Although if I had seen the velociraptors with their claws just digging out the dirt, I would have been like, you know what? I can't do this.
Nope.
There's no point. I'm going to be wasting my time here.
Aren't their feet like 5 times the size of ours? So.
Yeah. Because you see her and Kelly, and they're just like scooping out dirt.
Yeah, they wanted it more. They're like, I'm hungry. Come here.
It felt like I was watching like a Mario Party mini game.
Yes. Where you have to hit the button real fast to do something.
The computer that's at like a 1 difficulty, just dig, dig, dig. And then you're over there like, dig, 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 dig.
Definitely.
So I don't know. I don't really want to spend that much time on her. And normally, guys, like I'm pretty positive on this film. I do like it overall. But maybe it's because we just watched Jurassic Park and Schindler's List back to back. And so I'm just in a different headspace that I normally am, where I'm just like, yeah, dinosaurs, woo. But I felt more critical of it this time than I have in the past. So that's why it's probably coming out a little bit more cynical than it usually would.
You're just watching it with a different lens.
Yeah.
Since we've been taking this journey, so you look at all the movies a little differently.
That's true. Maybe I'm seeing this one less as a dinosaur movie and more as a Spielberg film. I guess we can talk real quick about John Hammond.
It was nice to see him again.
Yeah, definitely.
But obviously he was sick or...
If it wasn't just because of age, it might just be losing his company.
Yeah.
He really cared about InGen because he wanted it to be his one success. Feelings of conflicting emotions because dinosaurs are put back in the limelight, but a little girl got hurt because of it. If I remember correctly, her arm got bit a lot and it like swelled up because of the reaction to the paralysis. Good for the dad for running after her, not just being like, hey, servant, can you go and check this out?
Okay, or like the mom just standing there and screaming. That reminded me of Lex in the first movie.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's trying to send an expedition. He's become an environmentalist guy now. Just wants to protect the dinosaurs that he himself created. Gives us a little bit of backstory. Hurricane destroyed Isla Sorna, so that's why they haven't really talked about it before. It's a factory floor. John's a liar.
Oh, really? He wasn't there for every single birth? So they could imprint on him?
I can tell you there was like 275 known dinosaurs on Isla Nublar, and I don't believe that he was at 275 births.
Come on, he was committed.
He probably sent the dinosaurs like a Rolex and said, congratulations on your birth, to whom it may concern, written by his assistant.
Okay. I did notice he was dressed a little differently. It was a lot darker than
Dressed somber,
yeah.
To match his medical equipment.
So it contrasted to his deity presence in Jurassic Park.
I mean, he's a specter of death, so it makes more sense that he's wearing black.
He's already at the funeral. I don't know.
He sends all these people to continually die.
He does. When he's the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, he's got to be getting some sort of kickback from Father Death or something.
He's got to pay for the Rolexes somehow.
Well, I hope Eddie Carr's people sued the hell out of him.
Oh, hell yeah. There was no way to go.
But yeah, he's kind of just an exposition machine in this one, just to kind of give us a little bit of background of Sorna, send people on their way.
Yep.
Blame Malcolm for Sarah Harding going first. Because remember, he was like, leave it to you to find the one person who would jump into the fray. It was like, why are you saying it like that?
Yeah. Why are you coming at me? Come on. I don't see how that's Ian's fault, but
Because I don't think they're boyfriend and girlfriend in the book. I think they're exes.
that would make more sense.
Yeah, the way they treat each other is more like
Yeah.
exes.
Yeah. He called her baby once.
But that was only because it was a good line moment.
True.
He didn't say it to her. She's like, they're just trying to protect their baby. And he's like, so am I.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
That
right.
was just
you're
reflex, cool guy. Look at him, he cares. Which I guess he did fly there. He did get there very quickly. He does obviously care about her.
I would hope he cared more about his kid.
Well, we can go ahead and talk about Kelly. Kelly is his daughter. Got dumped on him by his ex-wife because she wanted to fly off to Paris or something.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, she was in the gymnastics team, but then she got kicked off. I think it was literally just to set up the scene later on where
Of course.
she did the little gymnastic spins to hit the velociraptor. Then he tells her not to listen to him ever. Every single piece of advice he had just contradicted each other.
Yes, they did.
So she thought that, I mean, I don't know if I would have snuck onto the trailer.
Sure you would have.
I don't know about that. Like, that's not,
When you were 14, you were going to do it.
I don't know, because there was no explanation about what we were getting into.
You don't care.
I don't know, though. Like,
You are trying to get the approval of this man.
I guess it's true, yeah.
Yes, you are getting on that.
I mean, she tried to cook for him when they got
She
caught.
really
Yeah.
did.
Like, she was trying to care for him.
She missed the stegosauruses.
And I don't know if she got to see any, like, oh, this is a nice dinosaur moment.
No. All she saw was
Just,
terror.
Things are going to kill me.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the thing, too. Like, we're missing that childlike wonder because the child isn't seeing all the good sides of dinosaurs.
No, in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, I don't think at first she's like, oh, these are kind of cute. And then she's like, no, never mind. Whoa, hey, that's cool. We're cool.
Step back.
She's understandably scared for most of the movie.
Which is normal.
Yeah, like she asked, when she sees the baby T-Rex, she says, I'm getting out of here, which is a very real reaction.
Right? That's what these characters are lacking, the lack of self-preservation.
I'm happy that Malcolm didn't be like, oh, well, you need to knock it off or anything.
No.
He said, okay, let's
go.
And so he takes her to the high hide with Eddie. And yeah, I mean, she does the gymnastics kick things at the end, disappears when they get to San Diego. She just kind of goes in there, like her character is kind of just there to twist the knife to Malcolm about how he treats his family.
You would hope there would be a redemption arc in that area.
Yeah. If anything, she's the one that saves him. He never saves her.
That's true. Let's talk about your buddy, Roland
Yeah,
Tembo.
Roland Tembo, played by Pete Postlethwaite. He's a big game hunter. He's kind of just a Muldoon.
He is.
Muldoon without respect for nature.
Yes, I would agree with that. Until the end.
Yes, until he finally realizes.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's probably like my favorite line. Ludlow says, there's always a job for you at the park. And he says, I've been in the company of death for long enough.
Yep.
I was just like, damn, because he really did care about RJ, his little buddy. So when he got killed by the velociraptors, he was like holding his pack in despair.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
And that's what caused him to be like, I'm leaving. Like, I'm not getting involved in this anymore.
So where did he go? You can't drop the mic and then just show up.
I'm sure Ludlow was like in the same helicopter with him. It was just really awkward after that. Like when you say goodbye to somebody and then realize you're both walking the same way.
Yeah, that's true.
I just like his portrayal. He's very fun. The one-liners he has. He does know how to hunt the animals. You could tell that, but he's just out of his depth with the dinosaurs because they're new.
Yeah.
Even like when we were first introduced to him, he knows don't camp on a big game trail, but he doesn't know the names of the dinosaurs.
Right.
So he has to come up with things like the one with the pompadour that looks like Elvis and
yes.
Friar Tuck and things like that.
Friar Tuck.
Cadden brings like a working class man feel to it. He's not the scientist. He's not a researcher like most of the others are. He's just a guy that is here to hunt things. And he's like, I don't care if I know that his name is Parasolophiloris. Like,
whatever.
He's like, I'm just here to make sure I get what I'm looking for, which is the T-Rex buck.
I think him and Muldoon would have gotten along really well.
I think we could have gone like a final stand with Muldoon and Tembo.
Yeah.
Them in like you remember like the very first map in Nazi Zombies?
Yes.
That white building?
Yes.
Them in there and the velociraptors are just swarming like just back to back. Just
yes.
we're gonna take these things down.
That would have been fun.
It would have been very fun. That's kind of what
With their hats.
Yeah, with their hats. So with Nick, he's a camera guy, environmentalist, kind of seems like he did it for the girls. He's Hammond's backup plan if Engine showed up, which was just, I'm going to open up the cages. He saves the baby T-Rex and brings it to all of his friends, putting them all in danger.
Yeah. I didn't find out he was an environmentalist until, the middle of the movie?
There's a couple throwaway lines, but you just don't care. This guy is essentially not really a character. He's the camera, and he's there to hassle Roland. That's really his only reason for being.
Well, then it worked.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got Eddie Carr, who's played by Richard Schiff, kind of the technology guy, where all they do is just clown on the technology the whole time.
Of course.
Also, probably best character in this movie, because he's a hero.
Yes, he is.
He literally was in the high hide. He went to go check on his friends to make sure they're okay.
Mm-hmm.
The trailer is dangling off. He throws them a rope. They have the time to make remarks about how they want to make fast food orders.
Yeah.
While he's trying to save their lives.
Yeah.
Has to keep the trailer up by driving his car in reverse, which is impossible because there's so much mud. There's no way.
Oh, yeah.
I know they played it as, this is a slow dangle because of the mud. No, he would have just went right over.
Yeah.
And then the T-Rexes show up again.
Yeah.
Just because the jaws come down right next to him and he looks at them and knows what's going to happen. And he continues saving his friends.
Yeah, he kept his foot on the gas pedal.
Yeah.
Till the very end.
These people who didn't treat him well.
No.
Never really acknowledged him, just made fun of everything that he did. He did save them.
He did. And then he became a wishbone.
He did. I guess it was supposed to be more graphic, and Spielberg said, we need to not...
More graphic?
Yeah, because it was supposed
to...
Yeah, you're supposed to be able to see it clearly.
I think he's the only one we cared about.
Honestly, for sure, yeah. Then lastly, we just got a couple guys that are on the InGen team. Dieter Stark, played by Peter Stormare, very disrespectful towards the compies, tases them every chance he gets. They remember.
Yes, they do.
I do like that because of just how spiteful they were.
Yes.
And they chomp at him, and then he gets eaten. That's pretty much it. He gets eaten as he climbs over a log.
Don't forget, in every jungle movie or whatever, everybody always finds that hill or that drop off.
The one where you fall, yeah.
It's like, okay, where did that come from?
He tells the guy that I'll be back to the one person who's listening to his music in this jungle. Not a whole lot to him, but because of his memorable death, worth bringing up.
Yes.
And then you got Robert Burke, bearded, long-haired, flannel-wearing paleontologist who just comes in to remind everybody why if you info-dump on people too much, you don't have friends.
Yes, that is true.
Because they're all so tired of him talking about it. Because, they're probably talking about, I was watching the Knicks game yesterday, and then he comes in and he says, do you know that it's actually physically possible for velociraptors to play basketball? If you look at the kneecaps, they're actually...
He can turn anything into... Yeah, got it.
Now we talked a lot about the characters. Let's go ahead and talk about the scenes. First one we had was Eddie saving the day and losing his life, which we already kind of talked about.
We did.
I like it. I like the rain too.
Yes.
It's really fun. Man, he just left the high hide where he would have been okay to go
but
help these friends.
That wasn't his character though.
Also, we never got to see him use that gun.
I know.
He spent so much time explaining what the darts had.
I know.
And he gets caught on the net, so he can't fight the T-Rex. At least let it be used once.
At least once.
Or somebody else used. Come on, like maybe Roland finds it in the mud after he investigates the scene. Why did we talk all about this gun just for it to not do anything?
Yeah.
We talked about Roland Tembo trying to shoot the T-Rex, but he finds out that his gun missing the bullets, so he has to tranquilize it.
Yeah.
Putting so many lives at risk.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not advocating for the T-Rex to die, but
no,
it's different. Okay, there's no hunter there. There's nothing you can do. But if there's a hunter there and you defang him, then the consequences kind of fall on you a little bit.
Okay, but let's be honest. We know that Tembo wanted the T-Rex head so he could mount it on his wall.
It was either he hunts the T-Rex or he starts hunting humans.
Yeah, like that movie, The Most Dangerous Game.
Exactly, yes.
Yes.
So we were really trying to save ourselves on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. We talked about the compies attacking the little girl, talking about attacking Dieter, and that baby T-Rex. So annoying every scene it's in. But you know what? It got the most heartwarming scene at the end.
It did.
Baby's first kill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. When it got to kill Ludlow in the ship.
The familial pattern for T-Rexes don't make any sense to me because I guess I see them as monsters.
Yeah.
But in this movie, they come off more as parents.
Yeah.
I really think they took the baby and then put him back in the playpen or whatever and then came back because they're like, you messed with my baby.
You stay right here.
Stay here.
Stay right here.
We'll be right back.
Yeah. We have to go finish this.
Yes. Mom and Dad have something to do.
We have a reputation and people are going to make fun of us if we just let these people go. I remember liking the part where they're operating on the baby T-Rex and they do
Yes.
the gum on there, which
Yes.
I think is like an ingenious way to try to figure out the situation. As a kid, I thought the spit thing was so hilarious. And I'm just like, you little shit.
To me, that's typical Vince Vaughn, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
So,
is. It 100% is, but
yeah,
I don't know. I think a lack of urgency these people had because Malcolm's running around losing his mind.
pretty much.
He's like, dude, we got no time for this. We have to get out of here. Do not understand. And everybody else is like,
The
we'll be
phone's
okay.
ringing. Should we answer it? I need your help right now.
There's only one person that has this phone. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like I'm getting a collect call about my car insurance. There's only one person who would be contacting us. Somebody who can see what's going on outside.
But that's okay.
Ah,
The baby T-Rex is more important.
oh my God. It's just, I don't know. It's so aggravating.
It was.
They're just so dumb. And then I think the last thing on the island I want to talk about is just the velociraptor attack.
Oh, that was so cool.
Probably one of the best sequences in the movie.
Yes.
That and the trailer scene, I think, are the biggest ones that keep you stick in your mind. I know Spielberg actually themed, when you see the lines
Yes.
through the grass, he themed it after torpedoes that were heading toward a ship.
It really looked like it.
Yeah, I like it too because they're all like, okay, we can't go in the tall grass. But
No.
then the T-Rex showed up and they just, lose their minds
Well, yeah.
naturally. So that everybody just runs in there.
Oh, yeah.
And the Velociraptor's like, what?
Oh,
Oh,
hi.
cool. I was still feeling a little peckish after this meal. Let me go ahead and get a little late night bite.
I mean, they take out most of the party.
Yeah, they do. I like it too because it's so less is more.
Yeah.
They only use for most of the kills until like the last one. It's just you see somebody get yanked down, and then you see the
You see the
Velociraptor
tail.
tails. Yeah, the Stan Winston Velociraptor tails telling you what's happening before that one last guy is like, what's happening? And then the Velociraptor's leaping at him.
Yes.
So I appreciate the little less is more, them getting yanked down. Very fun.
Yes, it was.
Obviously, the last thing is just going to be the T-Rex's tour of San Diego, seeing the sights. Even went to lesser-known tourist locations like the suburbs.
Oh, yeah.
Just causing random mayhem all over the place.
It was based on the game Rampage, my opinion, by the way, but
Yeah,
that's what they would do. Just
tear through the streets.
tear through it.
Man, when he hits that bus, though,
Oh, yeah.
the bus was so good. That's such a good effect.
Yeah.
Like, they did that practically, and then they CGI'd the dinosaur in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it just, every time I see it, it just makes me so excited. Because you expect him just to, like, nudge it.
No.
But no, he crushes this
He
thing.
did.
People fly out the window on the other side.
Yeah,
Like, it has style to
it did. It was very good.
So that always makes, like, I always love that part. I think my favorite's, like, line that Malcolm says when he says, hey, when the T-Rex sees us again, isn't going to be like, you. I don't know, I just like how he just like, he's going to recognize us, right?
Yeah.
And he does at the gas station. And then
Hmm.
the 76 ball just
That was
rolls
awesome.
on by
Yes.
past them.
Yes.
Return some videos to Blockbuster Video. They were closed, so we had to use the bus to open them up,
Well, yeah. Who has time to do the little video drop in the window there?
With his small arms take forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
He'd have to throw it like a boomerang, try to get it in there. He just lays waste to San Diego. Very out of place just to have that movie like zigzag straight to a city. I know that they had reasons why they did that, but it just feels so out of place to people. I'll say the boat scene when it comes crashing in is so cool.
it
And
is.
it destroys the dock. Oh, the T-Rex breaking through the customs board, remember?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, to declare any animals, vegetables. And
Nope.
he just takes it out. There's a lot of fun visual gags in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's always fun to see those and poke at them. All right, so for the themes, we have basically the same themes as Jurassic Park. Man versus nature,
Yeah.
corporate greed. I think they really tried to lean even more into the corporate greed on this one. Conserve instead of exploit. Spielberg said that, Sarah Harding and her crew were the gatherers and InGen was the hunters, which makes sense. I mean, it really felt like Nick said, strip mine the place.
Yeah.
Basically the same thing. They don't explore anything new in this movie.
No, they don't.
They try to do the conservation, but that kind of goes to the side real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So not a whole lot to add to the themes.
All right, so we had some symbols. So the high hide. What do you think of that one?
Symbolizes protection.
Yeah, although I still think they were at the same height as the T-Rex.
No, they literally see the T-Rexes walk below.
Okay, so they were higher than the T-Rex, so that's good.
But no, for the high hide, like it's protection.
Yeah.
It's kind of a putting yourself, like detaching yourself from the environment.
And then the crack logo, I guess, would symbolize how Jurassic Park failed. And now we're trying to put the pieces back together.
They are trying to put the pieces back together of what this world looks like. Where do the dinosaurs fit into it?
Yeah, man's not supposed to be there.
Yeah. The waterfall scene was cool when
It was.
Backer jumps out and gets eaten, and it shows the red
Yes.
of the blood on
That
the
was very
waterfall.
cool.
That was a good effect.
Yeah.
You could say that as a symbol, like the waterfall was also protection.
It was protection.
Because
That's
remember
true.
the T-Rex couldn't see them. It just licked Sarah Harding a bunch.
That was gross.
And not being able to see beyond the veil because they don't know when Malcolm shows up 5 seconds after the T-Rex ate Backer
Yeah.
that it would be him instead of the T-Rex. So it could definitely symbolize some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, just not a whole lot of symbols that are really outstanding, I don't think.
No, it was pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, this is a toys movie,
What do you mean?
like Batman and Robin.
Okay.
They made Batman and Robin. They weren't focused on making a movie. They were focused on making merchandise.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, there's just a lack of care in this movie. And it just feels like they wanted to try to show off as much as they could of things that the kids could buy. I think that's why there just seems to be so much lacking when it comes to, overall themes, symbols, vibes, everything.
Well, also, they didn't even follow the book.
Yeah, more so than the first time.
I know. It's like, okay, you have this wonderful book that, everybody wanted. They wanted that sequel. He finished it, and then production started like a little bit after, and then they don't even use the source material.
Yeah, it doesn't even seem like they really consulted him.
And I think that's why also the movie felt shallow. Does the winter weather have you feeling blue? InGen Travel Adventures presents its newest package, Isla Sorna Paradise, an all-inclusive trip that will soothe your inner savage beast and feed your soul. Bring the kids and enjoy relaxing Jeep rides, glamping, and a ship voyage that will leave you roaring for more. InGen Travel Adventures. We provide the DNA for an unforgettable vacation.
I survived Isla Sorna and all I got was this lousy t-shirt.
Yeah, you're lucky I came back at all.
Now that we've talked about the silver screen, it's time to go behind the scenes with The Shark Is Not Working. So first up for this one, we're going to talk about the origin story. So like we mentioned kind of right before we did our break, Michael Crichton didn't want to write the sequel, but the readers demanded, they wrote in a lot about it.
Yeah.
Demanded it feels mean. Like we held him, miseried him.
Whoa. Put your sledgehammer away.
Michael Crichton, you're not allowed to leave this place until you write The Lost World. I swear. Obviously, Spielberg wanted to direct the sequel, so he started working on making the film shortly after it was published. Didn't follow the plot of the second book that much, maybe an equal amount from the first book as well. And just to kind of give you an idea of The Lost World, the book, about a paleontologist investigating dinosaur remains that had washed ashore, and that's how they discover Site B. And they kind of wanted to try to do that in the movie a little bit. There had been one of the carcasses in the T-Rex nest was supposed to be in a fishing net.
Okay.
So like a fishing vessel found, and it was eaten by sharks and crabs and stuff.
Of course.
But to give you an idea of these things are starting to get out there a little bit. So there was talks about doing that, but they kind of just decided to go away from that.
I think that would have been more interesting.
I think that would be a really really interesting for an original movie.
Yeah.
I would love the mystery because my favorite part about when you read the first book, the doctors are trying to figure out how this man how did he get injured? And they're throwing around all these theories. And then somebody's like, why does it look like it's like giant jaws that bit down on him? And trying to debunk it. There's just this really interesting trying to reconcile the fact that they live in a modern world and something that was not supposed to exist does exist. I think it would have been cool, especially if nobody knew that Site B existed. It could still work in concept. Malcolm goes and searches for the paleontologist, Kelly Curtis, and another student named R.B. Benton. Kelly's not his daughter in the book, something that they did just to try to create more relationships in the movie. They were working with the engineer that they brought along, and they also snuck aboard the expedition. Sarah Harding is an animal behaviorist, and she's searching for Site B to find Malcolm, and she actually meets Louis Dodgson because in the book, Biosyn is the bad guy. They tried to go to Site B to steal dinosaur eggs so that they can replicate their own.
Obviously, Nedry failed to get the DNA to him, so that logically that would be the next step.
Yeah, he wouldn't give up. It kind of feels like Michael Crichton was trying to make Biosyn kind of like the Umbrella Corporation, where they're constantly, every time things go horribly wrong, think that they can do something different next time. So it's more corporate espionage. I think Dodgson's the one that gets eaten by the baby T-Rex in the book. Because essentially everything that InGen does in this movie is just Biosyn, but they decided to choose their own company instead of the rival company.
Okay.
The baby T-Rex being injured and the trailer being pushed over the cliff sequence was in the book. Michael Crichton named it after the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle book, The Lost World, which came out in the early 1900s and was about a prehistoric ecosystem that was untouched. There has been movie adaptations for that concept, and Spielberg was really excited about it being an untouched ecosystem of dinosaurs because it reminded him of watching King Kong as a kid a lot.
Yeah.
Which I know we've mentioned that before.
Yeah.
So I never knew why it was called The Lost World.
I found that interesting too. Also, I enjoyed the fact that there was a BBC television movie starring Bob Hoskins in 2001.
Okay.
So you know how much we like him.
Yep. Good old Shmee.
Yep.
All right. Now that we talked about the origin story, Mom, why don't you go ahead and start talking to us a little bit about casting?
Yeah. The role of Sarah Harding was pitched to Juliette Binoche, who played Sandra Brody in Godzilla 2014. I don't know if you remember her.
Yeah, she got pretty quickly.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah,
That's right. But Julianne Moore did accept the role. They didn't say much more about that, but
it said that she wasn't expecting all the athleticism she had to do
yeah.
in the movie, so
Yeah.
that was a big pain. Because, yeah, she would have to be running beside Vince Vaughn and Ian Malcolm, and they're tall, big men, so
Yes, they are.
move faster than she did. Spielberg told her to go faster and faster. From what I've heard, she didn't particularly like the role. She just took it because she wanted to work with Spielberg.
So did you know Gary Oldman was considered for the role of Peter Ludlow?
I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have been able to go tit for tat with Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, yeah.
So it would have felt a little bit more on equal grounds.
Yeah.
I don't know if he could have done the detached, ignorant, because, Arliss Howard, when he does Peter Ludlow, at least in the beginning, I like Ludlow in the beginning.
Yeah.
How he doesn't even pay attention to Malcolm when Malcolm's talking to him, defeating every argument he has with, well, you violated your contract, we're a business, we have to run. Just completely demeaning him. I like that. When he gets to the island, he just becomes regular. And so that gets kind of dumb. But yeah, I would have liked Gary Oldman as him because he would have been able to keep him more on equal grounds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he would have been able to do the beginning, but
I know that Peter Ludlow, he reminds me of a villain. Like you said, in the beginning, and then he's just an idiot on the island.
yeah, he just, whatever Tembo says, he does. And
Yeah, I don't know.
he makes his little Skype call to the investors.
Yeah, that was dumb. Maybe he didn't know what he was getting into.
I mean, he definitely didn't know what he was getting into.
So we had our little 14-year-old girl, Kelly Curtis, played by Vanessa Lee Chester. She was discovered from a movie called A Little Princess, which I have not seen.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one.
Spielberg actually asked her for an autograph, which I found funny, and told her that he would put her in a film someday. So then, let's see, Vince Vaughn, he started out in a movie called Swingers. So that was his first lead. That was made in 1996. Steven Spielberg watched the movie because they wanted to use the Jaws theme. So he had to watch it to get it approved. All right, so you want to tell us about the Hunters?
Yeah, so we got some casting for the Hunters. So Arliss Howard plays Peter Ludlow. He will appear in Amistad, which is the next film that came out a few months after this movie.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit different. I'm very intrigued to what he does in that movie because it seems like it will fit his temperament more.
Probably.
Based off of the little that we've seen in The Lost World.
Yeah.
Like we said, Pete Postlethwaite played Roland Tembo. You may know him from a couple other popular movies. He was Maurice Fisher in Inception. He was Cillian Murphy's dad. He was also in Alien 3. He's kind of a guy that pops up in a lot of different places. It's kind of funny, though, because Spielberg, you know how he likes to win over his competition. Pete Postlethwaite had also been nominated for Best Supporting Actor for In the Name of the Father, the same year as Ralph Fiennes was nominated for Schindler's List.
Okay.
So I just kind of like that they were competitors. And neither of them won, but it's just a fun little thing.
Well, he did the same thing with Sir Richard Attenborough.
Yes, exactly. And Ben Kingsley. So, you know.
Yeah.
Peter Stormare played Dieter Stark. You've definitely seen Peter Stormare. I think his big break was Prison Break.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Maybe that's just because that's the first thing I saw him in.
Maybe.
But he pops up in everything. He was in Bad Boys 2. He was in Constantine. He was a devil. He was in, just last year, Until Dark as a doctor.
Yeah.
Or, Until Dawn, reprising his role from the game where he also was that doctor in Until Dawn.
Yes.
He was apparently in Fargo, which is what Spielberg saw, and he said that he was happy that Dieter died the way he did as payback for all the people he killed in Fargo.
There you go. I like it.
And then finally, we have Thomas F. Duffy, who plays Dr. Robert Burke, who has no friends. He is modeled after Dr. Robert T. Backer. I know, Burke, Backer, I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
It's movie magic, my friends. But he, along with Dr. Jack Horner, was a consultant on Jurassic Park. You'll remember that Tim talked about the Backer book in the first one.
It was thicker, right?
It was thicker, yeah, but wasn't fully illustrated. That's kind of like his biggest thing he's done. He's just popped up in other stuff like Michael Cryon's ER, The Twilight Zone, Days of Our Lives, which, could be a job for life if you play it right.
It wasn't, but...
I mean, yeah, I'm just...
Yeah.
And then go ahead and tell us about the cameos.
Steven Spielberg, he's seen in a reflection on a TV screen in a San Diego home, watching the CNN coverage of the T-Rex Rampage. And of course, we already spoke about this, but Ariana Richards and Joseph Mazzello, which played Lex and Tim Murphy in the original Jurassic Park, they briefly reprise their roles. They give Ian Malcolm a hug.
Maybe his only positive relationship he has.
There you go. And Joseph jokes that this was his Spielberg scholarship for college. Happy that he could help him out with that.
They should have gotten kidnapped and taken to Site B so that way they could be like, oh my God, are we here again?
Yeah, right. Lex,
not this again.
Yeah, Lex would have been like, no. There was not a lot of Vegisauruses on Site B, at least that we saw.
Yeah.
David Cope, screenwriter, appears as the unlucky bastard who gets eaten by the T-Rex after running into a bookstore during the San Diego scene.
Yeah, and that is his credited name.
Unlucky bastard.
Apparently, he became a real diva on set after convincing Spielberg to let him do the cameo.
Uh-huh.
And so he kept giving him all these notes for how this 1 5-second cameo is supposed to go.
Well, I mean, he's a writer.
Yeah.
Another cameo that I just added was Blockbuster Video. It's so sad
People
because...
won't remember.
I know, if
the
we don't
next
keep it
generation
alive.
won't remember, yeah.
I know. So sad. I miss Blockbuster Video. But as it's being demolished, I feel like it was a foreshadow of its future downfall. Because the T-Rex runs right through it. R.I.P.
Yes.
Blockbuster Video. So why don't you tell us about the writing?
So for the writing, like we talked about, Michael Crichton didn't contribute to the script. It was all David Cope. He did 9 drafts of the script.
Should have done more.
While he was doing the drafts, Spielberg actually had Cope spend time with John Milius, who wrote Apocalypse Now and did the rewrites for Jaws, if you remember. He was an avid hunter, and he gave David Cope the idea for the raptor long grass scene because he was afraid of the long grass, apparently because of the hunting patterns of jaguars. Apparently, when Cope decided to have Kelly Curtis be Malcolm's daughter, Spielberg stated that having children truly is the crowning achievement of chaos theory, showing how he's changed because of his 5 children.
Yes. That's right. Yeah, 5 children.
Cope took the opening of the Jurassic Park novel, which is The Girl on the Beach, for this movie, as well as the scene where the characters hide from the T-Rex behind a waterfall. In the Jurassic Park novel, Grant, Lex, and Tim hide behind the waterfall. The tongue does drag on their faces, and it's a book, so it's more descriptive, and they actually find like a hidden passageway. Spielberg chose to include the Stegosaurus because of hundreds of letters from children making their requests.
Probably one from Tyler.
David Cope created the scene where the boat captain says he won't travel farther upriver because of the 5 deaths, which is what the name of the islands are, on the spot. Because they were actually supposed to do a scene where they landed and everything. Probably would have done like a whole Normandy landing with the boat dropping the hatch, and then they drove the hide and everything out there, the trailer and everything. But the boat got stuck on a sandbar.
Bummer.
And Spielberg was busy with a family matter.
Yeah.
And David called him and said, hey, what do? We can't get this boat over there. And he said, you're going to have to figure it out, because David Cope was doing second unit director work on this movie.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But yeah, so that whole part was just spontaneously created because of the situation they were put into.
Hey, it worked for Indiana Jones. Almost every time he used a local guide, so they always dipped because of something scary.
He might be a poor judge of character.
Maybe.
All right, let's hit the production. Don't worry, there's not as much production this time as there is in the first movie.
Industrial Light and Magic, which is George Lucas's baby, did the CGI like they did in the first movie.
Yes, but no ambushes this time.
Yeah.
They already had the job.
That's right. ILM used in-house software program Caricature, nicknamed Carrie, to bring more realism to the dinosaurs. They did look more real.
Yeah. No, the CGI is, you can see how it grew in the past 4 years.
So it was developed for use on Rob Cohen's Dragonheart, which I really enjoyed that movie, Dragonheart.
That's Sean Connery is the voice of the dragon?
Yes, loved it. We already know from Mr. DNA that Stan Winston built the animatronic beasts. And then Janis Kaminski created a moody feeling using fog, night, and humidity. Did you notice that there wasn't much daylight?
Just the Stegosaurus scene.
Yeah, that was it.
And yeah, I think that was essentially it. It was a long night.
It was a long night. So Kaminski was a cinematographer. He won an Oscar for Schindler's List. So
naturally,
well done.
The way he creates it using like fog, night, and humidity, that makes sense if he has work with having to do like lighting on a black and white film.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Dean Cundey was unavailable because he was making his directorial debut with Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. Kaminski used Alien and Blade Runner as visual touchstones for the movie as they aimed for a shadowy version of the previous film. Well done.
Those influences make a lot of sense to me.
Tell us about Rick Carter.
Yeah, so Rick Carter, who was like a location scout, he chose the redwood trees of Northern California for the interiors of Isosorna. You probably will recognize them because they were the forest moon of Endor in Return of the Jedi 14 years ago.
Wow. Did they see any Ewoks?
They were extinct by then.
The dinosaurs.
The dinosaurs took care of them.
Oh, poor Wicket.
The compies actually rode them into battle.
I could totally see that.
So in this movie, we talked about Stan Winston. He used all new models instead of relying on models created for the previous film, which I think is cool. The previous film had 7 species of dinosaurs that you saw. This
Okay.
movie has 13, and there was lots more of them.
Yeah. What was Pompadour from Elvis? What was that one called?
It's like Pericephalosaurus,
Yeah.
something like that.
So that was new.
Yeah.
There was no Brachiosauruses. I was sad.
So the 2 T-Rexes were so heavy that they didn't move them between scenes. So
Divas,
I
man.
know. It was written down in their contract. Somebody even made a joke that they were like, even top billed actors don't get this kind of treatment because they built the sets around them. So this one I learned when I watched the kill count for this movie. The dangling trailer scene, they didn't have a soundstage tall enough for what they needed. So they somehow convinced the studio to allow them to do all of this on the side of the parking garage.
Wow.
For Universal Studios. They dangled the whole trailer off the side, made it like a rocky face and everything. Also, this puts in mind like how amazing it is for digital replacement
Yeah.
because you have a whole regular street next to them and they change that into crashing waves underneath.
Yeah. Nobody would have bought it if they saw like the 405 freeway or something.
Yeah. And since they were dangling and it was just so difficult for them to get out of the harnesses that they were using, they built handholds where people couldn't see them for the actors to hold on to in between takes.
That's good.
So they could rest. And I just think it's cool. It must be so creative having to figure out how can I make it so that way people are safe and rested without ruining the exposure of the movie. For the dinosaur roundup, they created a new camera vehicle to handle rugged terrain, which would later become an industry standard. It used to be there would be a road that they drove on. So they'd always have to build a road next to the scene. The car could match whatever pace of the vehicle or whatever they're shooting. So this was brand new and something that really changed the game. You know, they like do their noises.
Of course.
During the scene where a motorbike drives under the Mamenchisaurus, Gary Rydstrom included the swoosh of the speeder bike as an homage to his mentor Ben Burt.
Love it when they do that.
Yeah.
Love it.
It being Return of the Jedi and they're in the Redwoods.
That's right.
Rydstrom also stole the sound of the bowler rolling in Raiders of the Lost Ark for the scene of the 76 ball rolling by.
I love that scene.
And then this is just a weird one. For the Pteranodon in the closing shot, they used the screech from a dental floss dispenser.
I mean, it seemed real. I don't know.
Yeah.
They looked really good. They were talking about how the wings were transparent enough that the light went through.
Okay.
It looked really good.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. So my favorite part, Mr. John Williams, you're needed on set. We're going to do the musical Marvel. The score had a percussive focus because it was set on a deserted island, and I mean by human, and took place in a jungle. Like in Tarzan and movies like that, you always notice a lot of drums. So there's a nostalgic nod to the Jurassic Park theme. When the visitor center mural is seen, remember Nick goes in there? So there's a little bit of the original theme that they play there. I think you noticed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, the future home of the T-Rex, Buck, and Infant in San Diego, remember they made look like a coliseum, honestly. Played it then as well.
Okay.
The prior themes of majesty and wonder were replaced with more peril-based compositions. Good on them because it was dangerous.
Yes.
And I don't think the would have fit, you know. And there was some experimental themes that drew influences from Max Steiner's King Kong, which we've been talking about for the last 2 movies, how much they tip their hat to King Kong, and Henry Mancini's Hatari, which I think you're going to talk about a little later as well.
Spielberg said he liked this music better than the original.
Yeah.
Because it was more complex. All right, just some miscellaneous facts for you guys. Spielberg was bored by this film. I think this is his least favorite film that he's made, just because of the expectations about it, his own ego and everything. So he was ready to move on to a more serious part of his career, which, thinking about what he's got coming up, makes sense.
He did it.
He was planning on making a 3rd movie, and it was going to be the San Diego scene, essentially, as an entire movie. Once he realized he would not be doing the 3rd movie, he had Cope rewrite the 3rd act into what it is today. That's why there's that incongruity with the rest of the movie, because they just kind of shoved that in there as a 3rd act piece, even though it doesn't really fit into the movie.
No, it really doesn't.
The baby Stegosaurus was named Claire, and the baby T-Rex was named Junior. Hopefully they said it like Junior. Michael Crichton was dubbed the Hitman in 1995 by Time magazine when he was on their cover story because of the success of the movie adaptation for Congo, enjoying great U.S. ratings.
Nice.
Phil Tippett said he was tired of dinosaurs, and he did not return for this film because he was working on 1997 Starship Troopers.
Okay.
Which those bugs look incredible, so good on him. During that time that Spielberg was on hiatus from directing, he actually started DreamWorks Animation because he started that company in the mid-90s. A lot of his time was taken up during that shoot because of DreamWorks and what they needed to get off the ground. There was a nod to Godzilla during the San Diego sequence with Japanese businessmen running from the T-Rex. There was apparently talks of including dialogue saying, "I moved from Tokyo to get away from this."
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, I would have loved that. Ray Harryhausen, which we talked a lot about during, I think it was during the Jurassic Park episode, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Did, Clash of the Titans, things like that.
Yes.
He actually penned a letter of congratulations to Spielberg for The Lost World. So I thought that was really great.
Yeah.
And then finally, Spielberg headshot The Lost World, Amistad, and Saving Private Ryan in 12 months.
When does this man sleep?
And then I know you want to talk about the Easter eggs that we saw in this movie.
I was really captivated by the movie posters in the blockbuster, so I had to go on a deep dive. One of them was King Lear starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. And basically this is a reference to a recurring joke from the animated series Animaniacs, which I believe Steven produced.
Okay.
It also serves as a gentle ribbing of Schwarzenegger, who often played action roles, but previously mocked the idea of starring in a Shakespeare adaptation in 1993's Last Action Hero. He went the extra mile by having legendary poster artist Drew Struzan paint the fake King Lear poster, ensuring it looked like a legitimate high-budget film. And if you look at the poster, it looks like he has flowing hair, and it kind of looked like Fabio on those romance novels. So, I don't know. So, and then there was another one that said Jack and the Beanstalks, starring Robin Williams. And if you remember, Robin Williams used to call Steven during Schindler's List for a little 15-minute stand-up comedy routine. So it's a nod to the 1996 film Jack, which was a really good film.
Okay.
Which Robin Williams was in, but it was with a more surreal fantasy twist. And it also acts as a callback to the collaboration between Spielberg and Williams in the movie Hook. Tsunami Sunrise, starring Tom Hanks, was a fabricated disaster movie, which further highlights the film's theme of big-budget Hollywood spectacles.
Sounds awesome.
Yes, I would watch it.
Yeah.
We love the disaster movies. So the posters in the rental store highlight the absurdity of Hollywood casting and the types of movies popular at the time. The inclusion of these, along with the T-Rex Rampage destroying the store, creates a humorous, self-aware moment in the film's climax. That was the deep hole I went into for those movie posters.
It's fun that they have all lore behind them.
I know.
Emergency alert. Tune in next week for Adventures in Chaos. Join chaos theory scientist Ian Malcolm as he faces ruin from selling his story about a dinosaur island to TMZ, all while trying to become a better father, going to a dangerous dinosaur island, and saving his stubborn paleontologist girlfriend, while trying not to become dinosaur chow. Will he make it back alive? Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next episode. Cha-ching! Time for our Money and Milestones segment with Sandcastles and the Sand, talking money, awards, reviews, everything.
All the things.
Everything InGen would care about.
Oh, yes.
InGen's folly, as we call it. So, for the box office of The Lost World, it was made for $75 million, $12 million more than Jurassic Park. Did not reach the same heights, but still made a cool $618 million. It is 8 times his budget. So yeah, not quite the max out as Jurassic Park was. It was number 2 for the year.
Okay.
Overall.
Okay.
What do you think number 1 is?
Jurassic Park? No.
Yes, they released the same year. No, Mom, what are you doing? What else came out in 1997?
Oh, Lord. There was so much. I don't know.
What other 2 VHS film came out in 1997?
Oh, Titanic. Titanic, that's right.
Titanic blew it away.
Of course it did. Yeah, you got me with the 2 VHS tape.
So we're going to talk about the domestic box office for May of 1997. Top 5 was Lost World, Jurassic Park, which grossed $131 million domestically in May. So these are in-month releases. And then the total gross was $229. The second is The Fifth Element. Weird movie. Grossed $50 million, quite a distance from The Lost World. Then Breakdown, which I don't know what that is.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's either about psychology or breakdancing. Number 4 I'm very familiar with, which is Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 5, which is Volcano.
Tommy Lee Jones.
The sister to Dante's Peak. We're getting into that weird era where disaster movies about the same concept come out so close to each other.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, number 5 I'll always remember. I always remember the guy jumping into the lava. Doesn't he have he's like holding like a child and he jumps in the lava to sacrifice himself so that way the child can get to safety?
Yeah.
I remember that. And also realizing that maybe lava isn't like as dangerous to get close to as I thought.
I still think it is, but
I mean,
yeah,
probably is. All right, now that we've talked money, let's talk awards. So The Lost World was nominated for 1 award, which is Best Visual Effects, and it did not win.
Oh, come on.
I'm just going to tell you right now.
Yep.
Other than 4 movies for the rest of his career, 0 wins.
That's sad.
Yeah. Now that we've talked Academy Awards, why don't you go ahead and hit us with the critic reviews?
All right. Our buddy Roger Ebert, I think he gave it 2 stars out of 4 or 5. I can't remember. Quote, "The problem with the movie is that the dinosaurs aren't allowed to be the stars. They're marvelously conceived and executed, but no attempt is made to understand their fearsomeness. Much of the plot hinges on mommy and daddy T-Rexes exhibiting parental feelings for their offspring. Must we see everything in human terms? At one point, one character tells another, 'These creatures haven't walked the earth for tens of millions of years, and now all you want to do is shoot them.' Somebody could have asked Spielberg the same question." Was that, Nick who said that, maybe?
Yeah, I think to Roland.
Okay. Yeah. So
because then he
then,
says the whole thing about going up to Everest without the
that's right.
oxygen. I went up there not to die, to live.
Yeah, James Berardinelli
Whoa.
said, yeah, I know. "The Lost World ends up being a passable popcorn adventure film. It is to this year what Independence Day was to last year."
What?
Yeah.
No, Independence Day is way better.
"The summer single can't miss motion picture, or so the advertisers would have us believe. It also comes early enough in the season so that we're not already sick to death of this kind of effects-oriented action adventure. So, although The Lost World has its share of problems, chief of which is the familiarity factor, it still offers a couple of hours of glitzy high-tech fun. And that's just about all that anyone can reasonably expect from this kind of blockbuster." So that's kind of,
Yeah, seems like it's that's fine, I guess.
So Rotten Tomatoes, I was very sad. I think this is the lowest I've ever seen out of the movies we've done. 57% on the tomato meter and 52% on the popcorn meter. The popcorn was even knocked over, and the tomato was green.
Yeah, not quite a complete flop, but they were getting dangerously close.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I think that was maybe one of the big eye-opening things for me when I grew up and started hearing other people's opinions was how many people don't actually really enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
It really rocked my world, honestly.
But see, you watched them as a set, though.
Yeah.
So you said you always start Jurassic Park and then
Yes.
you watch
Yeah.
through the next 2. So I don't know, maybe they just kind of blended together. Maybe it's better to watch them that way.
Maybe. I don't know. I think now I like 3 better than 2 because 3 is just ridiculous. But the Spinosaurus is just so cool.
So what did you give it on Letterboxd?
Yeah, so on Letterboxd, I'm going to say 3 stars for this one. What I've always wanted, a dark, gritty remake of Jurassic Park. It seems like something that they would make in the early 2010s when they were doing things like Total Recall and Judge Dredd and RoboCop,
Yes.
where it's like, here it is. Remember, it was super campy and colorful, and now it's dark, it's gritty,
It's rainy.
it ain't your mama's, Judge Dredd. Parental discretion is required.
Love the announcer voice.
Because, I mean, with the horror elements, I don't think it's completely separate from most of the other ones in feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, this one and Fallen Kingdom, I think, are kind of sisters, or I guess with the age difference, Lost World was the mother to the daughter that is Fallen Kingdom. But they just kind of a clearer view of we want to make this into a horror movie. So I think that's probably why it works a little bit better.
Okay.
But I also know people really don't like Fallen Kingdom. So
I don't remember much about it, so
I don't know.
I'll have to refresh.
Some of it was dumb, but I liked a lot of it. So, all right, Mom, what is your ranking?
Okay, so I was studying this earlier because your perspective shift. I made some corrections.
Okay. So you completely updated it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I did. Number 1, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Number 2, Schindler's List. Number 3, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Number 4, Jaws. Number 5, Jurassic Park. Number 6, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, which used to be number 2.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to remember what was was before.
It was because more nostalgia than film craft, I guess.
Okay.
I'll always love it, but if it was on TV all the time, would I watch it? Probably not.
Makes
So,
sense.
yeah.
That's how I judge a lot of my movies too.
Yeah. So number 7, The Color Purple. Number 8, Duel. Number 9, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Number 10, Always. Number 11, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Number 12, The Sugarland Express. Number 13, The Lost World Jurassic Park. I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
It's
I could really tell that you weren't vibing with it while we were watching it.
It's I don't know. It was okay.
Yeah.
There was some good stuff, but 14 was Hook, 15 Empire of the Sun, and 16 1941.
All right. So for me, number 1, Jurassic Park, 2, Jaws, 3, Schindler's List, 4 is Last Crusade, Raiders 5, E.T. at 6. Well, now we got E.T. at the same level.
That's funny.
And The Color Purple at 7, Duel at 8. So our first.
Oh, wow. 6, 7, and 8.
And 9, because Temple of Doom is also my 9th. Yeah.
Nice.
I did put Lost World at 10. Almost put it above Temple of Doom, but I really just like Indy and Short Round.
Yeah.
And that makes the movie worth it for me. And when I think about The Lost World, other than the fact that it's dinosaurs,
Yeah.
I don't really think of a whole lot else that I'm jumping to see.
I get it.
That was a tough choice to make. Then Close Encounters at 11, same as you. Sugarland Express 12, same as you. Hook at 13, Always at 14, Empire of the Sun at 15, and 1941 at 16.
Okay.
Now that you've heard our rankings, don't forget to go ahead and give us a 5-star review on your podcast player of choice. If you're on YouTube, give us a like, comment, or subscribe. Please tell your friends. We're always trying to get information out there. We're striving to be better for you guys and present better information. So I hope you've been enjoying that. We've had a backlog and I've been going through to edit them. And you can even just tell the difference just going back to The Color Purple and Empire of the Sun.
Really?
How much we're still refining our craft.
Okay.
So next episode will be Amistad, released in the same year. So I hope you enjoy that one with us. As always, I'll give you our Spielberg quote. Through amazing stories and unforgettable characters, we're introduced to those incredible worlds we only dare imagine. And in the process, we discover ourselves. This is Tyler, signing off.
And this is Crystal, letting you know, don't forget to notice the purple.